In the uncharted waters of the North Atlantic, hidden behind a veil of thick fog and mystery, lay an island known as the Lost Isle. Surrounded by stormy seas and dangerous currents, it was home to mermaids whose beauty was matched only by their cruelty. Their song, sweet and seductive, was a deadly trap for careless sailors. Captain Eric, an experienced sailor, guided his merchant ship through the rough waters, driven by the hope of fame and fortune. However, the crew, hardy men who knew the sea more than their own home, were not prepared for the horrors that awaited them. As the ship approached the Lost Isle, a mysterious song filled the air. The mermaids began their deadly game. The creatures, dazzling in their appearance, emerged, their voices weaving a hypnotic melody. Some sailors, entranced by the illusion, ignored Eric's warnings and were irresistibly drawn to the edge of the ship. Their screams echoed across the water as one by one they were swept into the depths. The men were in a trance and could not resist. They were oblivious to the disappearance of their people. All their attention was focused on the mermaids. The singing was like a curse that held their victims in place and led to their downfall. Eric, determined to save his crew, ordered a retreat, but the mermaid's song intensified, penetrating every defense. In a desperate act, Eric tried to banish the creatures with an ancient, mystical amulet he had found in an abandoned temple. But the power of the mermaids was too strong. The amulet broke in his hands. Night fell, and the sea became rougher. Eric, plagued by visions of his drowning crew, knew he had to act. He took a rowboat and rowed alone into the darkness, hoping to attract the attention of the mermaids and save his ship. The singing grew louder as he approached the source, and the shadowy figures of the mermaids danced in the moonlight. In a last desperate attempt to save his crew, Eric confronted the creatures. The mermaids, astonished by his courage, offered him a pact, his life for that of his crew. Eric, whose heart was so deeply connected to the sea, agreed, knowing full well that this would mean his end. When dawn broke, the ship was found abandoned. The crew had been rescued, but there was no trace of Captain Eric. His sacrifice became a legend, and the story of the mermaids became a dark tale feared by sailors and land dwellers alike. The Lost Isle remained a place of horror, a silent memorial to the depths of the sea and the creatures that lurked in its shadows.